Oh, it's that month, the month of love and romance. So, as celebration of Valentine's Day, how about I tell you myths regarding couples? Hey there, my name is Osmi Fire, and welcome back to my channel. This is where I tell you everything I've learned about a subject that I researched after watching anime, TV shows, movies, or playing video games, and think to myself, is that story based on something else? What did the creator take as inspiration from ancient myths or historical figures? Am I always reading a topic regarding mythology? Yes. Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon Crystal, remake of the 90s version of Sailor Moon, was released in 2014, an anime adaptation of the Sailor Moon manga series written and illustrated by Naoko Takeuchi as the 20th anniversary of the series. Story starts with our beloved protagonist, Tsukino Usagi, Sailor Moon, a middle school girl. She bumps into Luna, a talking cat, who then reveals to Usagi about her past life as Sailor Moon, and she must find the rest of the Sailor Guardians. After a tough day at school, Usagi bumps into a cute guy named Mamoru Chiba, a high schooler. She drops her failing test, and as he picks it up and hands it to her, they both have a moment. This encounter between the two happens a lot. Usagi and Mamoru are constantly feeling like they have known each other somewhere, but can't fully recall how anytime that they're around each other. They eventually end up dating. The story progresses as she befriends Ami Mizuno, Sailor Mercury, Rei Hino, Sailor Mars, Makoto Kino, Sailor Jupiter, and lastly, Minako Aino, Sailor Venus. Now, Mamoru is fully introduced after Usagi and the girls find Makoto. Usagi then learns more about Mamoru and his true identity as Tuxedo Mask, and how he's being guided by someone to find the legendary silver crystal. Before Minako and Artemis were introduced, Luna tells the Sailor Guardians to find Princess Serenity, even though Luna herself doesn't know how she looks like, and the legendary silver crystal before it lands on the hands of the enemy, the Dark Kingdom, as Queen Beryl wants to obtain it for her own evil plans to take over the universe. So when Sailor Venus shows up, the impression at first was that it was her who was Princess Serenity, only to when something happens to Tuxedo Mask, the real Princess Serenity is revealed through Usagi. Sailor Venus was pretending to be Princess Serenity in order to protect the real Princess Serenity from danger until the silver crystal is recovered. Usagi/Sailor Moon, who is now Princess Serenity, then recalls her past memories when Mamoru/Tuxedo Mask is hurt and asleep. The love she is holding is now Prince Endymion. Long ago, Princess Serenity of the Moon would constantly visit planet Earth, ruled by Prince Endymion, as she secretly loved him. Both ended up falling in love, but they both knew this was forbidden, as it is the will of the gods. Soon, the people of Earth didn't like the possibility that they would then be controlled by those of the moon. Bringing an all-out war, Prince Endymion was killed while protecting Princess Serenity. She then took her own life. Now, let's travel to ancient Greece, as the name of these characters are traced back to a Greek myth, the story of Selene and Endymion. Like every telephone story, there's always various versions of the myth. Well, that goes to who really were Endymion's parents, as some sources say his parents were Athalius and Callis, or Zeus and Phoenicia. Also, some versions say that he was king of Elis, a shepherd, a astronomer, and or hunter. He was said to be so handsome. Selene, goddess of the moon, depicted riding a side saddle or driving a chariot, had a lunar sphere or a crescent she wore on her head, fell in love with Endymion as she watched him during the night coming down to earth and wanted to be with him forever. Selene is the daughter of the Titans Hyperion and Thea, according to hesiod'stheogony. It is said Endymion had 3 sons and 1 daughter, Hepis, Paeon, and Aeolus. The name of the mother of Endymion's kids varies from Asterodia, Chromia, Hyperipe, Epheneisa, or an unnamed Naiad nymph. Here are a couple versions on how Endymion got his eternal sleep. One version says, Selene went up to Zeus, god of thunder, or Hypnos, god of sleep, to give her lover eternal sleep since he is immortal. Second version says, it was Zeus who offered Endymion what he desires, which then Endymion decided everlasting sleep, meaning he would remain young forever. A third version says that Endymion's eternal sleep was a punishment by Zeus, since Endymion attempted to have a sexual relationship with Zeus's wife, Hera. A fourth version says that Zeus had informed King Endymion about his upcoming death, and he needs to find his next successor to rule Elis before his death. So Endymion arranged a running race in Olympia. The race was between Epeus, Paeon, and Aeolus. Epeus won the race, making him the next successor. It is said that Epeus claimed King Endymion was buried at the start line at Olympia. Finally, the last version is that Endymion left to Caira, some association with Mount Latmos. This is where some myths say he left Elis after leaving the throne to his son Epeus and became a shepherd. Here he observed the movements of the moon, where it is said he was an astronomer. Selene, goddess of the moon, saw Endymion noticing her, but it was in a cave in Mount Latmos, where Endymion laid asleep and where Selene watched his beauty undisturbed, and Selene bore him 50 daughters. So this actually makes it look like she him. Look, if you like a guy, just tell him, don't do this. So how closely is the representation of Princess Serenity and Prince Endymion from Sailor Moon Crystal to the real Selene and Endymion? Very similar, actually. In Sailor Moon Crystal, as Usagi/Sailor Moon, now Princess Serenity, recalls her memories with Mamoru/Tuxedo Mask, now Prince Endymion, Princess Serenity would visit Earth just to see Prince Endymion. Princess Serenity was a god and Prince Endymion was a mortal, just like the story of Selene and Endymion. Princess Serenity and Prince Endymion would then fall in love. But when it comes to the real Selene and Endymion, well, it's 50-50. There is whole creepiness since some versions say he was also in love, but the love was mostly coming from Selene. Yes, Selene did come down to Earth to see Endymion, just like in the anime, but like I said, that love was mostly coming from her. As far as physical appearance, we know Selene admired Endymion for his beauty, just like how Princess Serenity did for Prince Endymion. One important detail as well. Selene was depicted wearing a crescent moon crown on her head, and we see that with Princess Serenity having a crescent moon on her forehead when Usagi/Sailor Moon is in her Princess Serenity form. However, when it comes to Prince Endymion and the real Endymion, there isn't much comparison other than they were mortals and were both rulers. The only difference between Princess Serenity and Prince Endymion and the real Selene and Endymion is that Princess Serenity and Prince Endymion only have one daughter, Chibiosa, while the real Selene and Endymion had 50 daughters. In the story, as I mentioned earlier, Selene asked Zeus or Hypno for eternal youth for Endymion. That could explain why in Sailor Moon Crystal, Endymion is placed in sleep mode after being captured by Queen Beryl. Being a Sailor Moon fan, I knew that there was a lot of Greek myth connections regarding the powers of each of the Sailor Guardians with their respective planets. But I didn't know the love story of these beloved characters was also based on a Greek myth. At first, after watching all 200 episodes of the 90s version, I did thought the new version was weird to me. Maybe it was the art style. But after giving it a chance, I prefer Sailor Moon Crystal over the 90s version. It really sticks with the manga series properly. Also, after watching Sailor Moon Eternal movies, I can't wait to see where the story will take place for Chibi. Let me know on the comments below your thoughts and what other myths, associations did you catch on Sailor Moon Crystal. If you like this video and my content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, remember, I'm Awesome Fire. I am out like a candle. Bye!